Hello and welcome. Today we embark on an exploration of a sentiment both poetic and profound, a statement that captures the fundamental duality of existence. It is a truth voiced in literature and echoed throughout philosophy. The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places, but still there is much that is fair, and though in all lands love is now mingled with grief, it grows perhaps greater. JRR Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings. This assertion, brimming with insight, invites us to reflect upon the nature of reality itself, the tension between suffering and beauty, between despair and hope. To fully grasp its depth, let us consider its implications through the lenses of existentialism, stoicism, and ethical humanism. The inevitability of peril. An existentialist view. Existentialist thought, particularly as expressed by thinkers such as Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus, acknowledges that suffering is an inherent aspect of the human condition. Peril, whether it manifests as war, loss, or personal anguish, is unavoidable. The dark places referred to in our quote can be understood as the existential void, the abyss that stares back when one seeks meaning in a seemingly indifferent universe. Yet, existentialism also offers us a path forward. In the face of peril, we must create meaning through our choices and actions. Camus' concept of the absurd hero teaches us that even if suffering is an inescapable reality, we can confront it with courage and defiance. In this way, the presence of peril does not negate the possibility of beauty, rather, it makes beauty all the more valuable. Stoic wisdom, finding strength in adversity. The Stoic philosophers, from Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius, would nod in agreement with the assertion that love and grief are intertwined. To love anything deeply is to make oneself vulnerable to suffering, for loss is the inevitable shadow of attachment. However, the Stoics remind us that grief and hardship are not necessarily to be lamented but rather to be endured with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius writes in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In this light, the mingling of love and grief need not be seen as a tragedy but as a testament to the depth of human connection. The pain of loss affirms the significance of what was loved. In this understanding, the bittersweet nature of life does not diminish its worth, it enhances it. Ethical humanism, love's growth despite adversity. Finally, let us turn to the ethical perspective. If love, though mingled with grief, grows perhaps greater, then we must consider what it means for love to expand even in times of hardship. Ethical humanism suggests that through acts of compassion, resilience, and moral responsibility, human beings can cultivate a world that acknowledges suffering yet refuses to be consumed by it. One might argue that the greatest acts of love emerge precisely in response to peril. Consider the humanitarian efforts in times of war, the bonds that deepen in the wake of tragedy, or the resilience of communities rebuilding after devastation. These are tangible manifestations of love persisting and even flourishing amidst grief. If suffering is an indelible part of existence, then so too is the human capacity to confront it with dignity and kindness. Conclusion: embracing the duality of existence. Thus, we arrive at a synthesis of perspectives. The world is full of peril, this cannot be denied. Yet within it, there remains beauty, and the coexistence of these forces does not weaken love but strengthens it. The recognition of suffering does not lead to despair, nor does the acknowledgement of beauty breed complacency. Instead, we are called to navigate this paradox with both awareness and courage. The human condition is not defined solely by its hardships nor solely by its joys, but by the interwoven nature of the two. We love, and thus we grieve. We struggle, and thus we grow. If we accept that love, even in sorrow, may grow greater, then we embrace not only the fragility of existence but also its remarkable resilience. And in doing so, we affirm that while the world may be dark in places, it remains ever illuminated by the presence of hope, courage, and the enduring capacity to love. Thank you.